Oh,
I don't
dear
know
God.
if you guys saw this the other day, but Kid Rock was at the White House, and when I saw this, I was like, I think one of the reporters, I think it was even the Fox guy, he goes, "I've never seen someone in the White House that looks like they're about to be shot out of a cannon."
Yeah. What makes this funny to me too is the portrait of Washington and Reagan in the background. Like, imagine them looking at this photo, like, what the
God.
fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, it does scream idiocracy. He does look like Evel Knievel, though, but
That's a good thing, shooting him out of a cannon. That's funny.
that was a good joke.
Yeah.
I can't. I was one of the Fox reporters, I think, who said this. But there is actually some real substance behind this, and so I got this AP article that we can read and talk about. But the headline says Trump welcomes Kid Rock to the White House for order targeting ticket scalpers.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, so because I read some of this, I watch a lot of political podcasts, and they talked about some of it. So, this is and nothing to do with voting, but it's related to music. So, anyway, President Donald Trump invited Kid Rock into the Oval Office Monday and signed an executive order that says he will help curb ticket scalping and bring common sense changes to the way live events are priced. Anyone who bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows that it's a conundrum, said Kid Rock, who wore a red bedazzled suit featuring the American flag motif and a straw fedora. Quick sidebar, too. I actually watched a thing about Kid Rock, and I always thought he was like kind of a sellout because he started out as a rapper and went to country. But turns out I was wrong. He was a country guy from the get-go. And he kind of like leaned into the rap thing and then went back to like the country like type stuff. But anyway, that's a whole other. Designed to stop price gouging by middlemen, the order directs Attorney General Pam Bondi and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to ensure that scalpers offering tickets at higher prices than their face value comply with all Internal Revenue Service rules. It also orders the Federal Trade Commission to ensure price transparency and take enforcement action to prevent unfair, deceptive, anti-competitive conduct in the secondary ticket market, which the Trump admin argues can restore sensibility and order to the ticket market. Trump said he knows Kid Rock, longtime supporter, whose real name is Robert James Ritchie, simply as Bob. He's been a good friend for a long time, Trump said. The president said rising fees for concerts and other events have gotten worse and worse with time. Kid Rock agreed. You can buy a ticket for $100. By the time you check out, it's $170. You don't know what you've been charged for, Kid Rock said. But more importantly, the bots, they come in, they get all the good tickets for your favorite shows you want to go to, and then they're relisted immediately for sometimes 400, 500% markup. The order mostly directs federal agencies to enforce existing laws. Still, it marks a rare instance of policy crossover with the administration of Democratic President Joe Biden, which used the FTC to target junk fees. So this is actually where it gets good, because the reason I got this article is it talks about the stuff that the Biden administration was actually doing too. So it kind of gives both credit.
I was gonna say also you read that wrong. He's been a good friend for a long time. For a long time.
This is gonna be no one's ever seen anything like this.
Greatest singer.
Never seen anything like it. This is gonna be the greatest order in the history of ticketing.
Yeah, there you go.
The order mostly directs federal agencies to enforce. Okay, so Joe Biden would choose the FTC to target junk fees or levels tacked on the end of the purchase process that can mask the full price of things like concert tickets, hotel rooms, and utility bills. Under Joe Biden, utility bills, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Under Biden, the Justice Department also sued Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation Entertainment. Last year, it accused them of running an illegal monopoly over live events and asked the court to break up the system that squelches competition and drives up prices for fans.
That's what Pearl Jam tried to do.
Yeah, kind of.
That's exactly what I thought of when you
I thought of them too. That's one of the reasons. So the other thing is, though, with them, they got screwed because the way it is now, you almost have to go to like politicians to stop it, because they own Live Nation owns the venues now too.
Yeah, they own
everything.
So they own everything in the supply chain for like live performances, which sucks. So Pearl Jam was like dead in the water before they even started. It was a noble cause on their part, but also I don't think it was as bad back then as it is now either.
Well, we thought
Yeah.
it was, and then now it's like even more insane.
They just kept
Yeah,
raising it every year. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
$50 more.
Well, you know John Oliver, like I'm not the hugest fan. Sometimes he can be a little political, but he did a piece on
he could be a little political.
well, I mean, by that I mean like he definitely has a bias for a
I
certain.
know.
But he does good work. He does good work. You can't deny that. He does a lot of good work. And he did a piece on the secondary market for tickets that I won't get into right here, but it's worth watching. Like it's what. But anyway, keep going here. We support any meaningful resale reforms. So Live Nation said Monday evening that scalpers and bots prevent fans from getting tickets at the prices artists set. We thank President Trump for taking them head on. That's good PR. But we support any meaningful resale reforms, the company said on a statement, adding that included backing caps on resale prices. Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino also thanked Trump and Kid Rock in a post on X. Those companies have a history of clashing with major artists, including Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift. No mention of Pearl Jam, whose summer 2022 stadium tour was plagued by difficulty getting tickets. Country music star Zach Bryan even released a 2022 album titled All My Homies Hate Ticketmaster.
Nice.
Wow.
I like that. I don't like country, but I like that.
Wow.
Yeah. These days, country is. I feel like country's better now, like than it was when I was a kid. But I still.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
not my favorite.
It's like country rap now. It confuses me.
Well, it's also
all the genres are like that though. Even metal's like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
everything's all
It's
Sleep
been
token.
diversified, like all the genres, right? So like in metal and in pop and in rap, you have the same dynamic where there's like these pop artists that are like kind of they have a certain glossiness to them. So like in country, you have these like pop artists that are doing like what's popular, like Beyonce, for example. Country world-renowned country artist Beyonce,
Yeah.
Grammy award-winning country artist Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce had the best album of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, he's
Quote,
like, Beyonce
direct
had the best
quote.
album of all time. Also, the Nazis are okay. What do you guys think?
Direct quote.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, those companies have a clashing with major artists. A representative for Bryan said he had nothing to add when asked for comment on the executive order. Oh, I thought he was going to be asked for comment about the title of All My Homies Hate Ticketmaster. The Biden administration used such initiatives as a way to protect consumers from rising prices that were already inflated. Trump, meanwhile, campaigned on combating high ticket prices, calling them very unfortunate. Kid Rock, no, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Kid Rock, known for his hits like Cowboy and Ball with the Ball, called Trump's order a great first step and said he'd eventually like to see a cap on resale prices on tickets, which, while quickly adding, I'm a capitalist, he also said he'd spoken to Ticketmaster, which he described as on board with the change. The White House says America's live concert and entertainment industry has a total nationwide economic impact of $132 billion and supports 913,000 jobs, but it has become blighted by unscrupulous middlemen who impose egregious fees. Sorry, I almost said egregious, whatever that fucking means. Egregious fees on fans with no benefit to artists, according to a fact sheet it released Monday. So I can't argue with that.
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's no
I
way
mean,
Trump
I
said it,
wonder
though,
if
'cause it's full
anything's.
sentence.
I wonder if anything's like how that's gonna work. Like, I'm glad that people are getting like in the know
Conscious about it.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how that's gonna pan out because I don't know.
Well, did you see the thing on Ticketmaster? Like, I bought tickets to Nine Inch Nails and the new Manson tour recently, and now there's this little floating thing when you click on the seat that said full checkout price. Like, they have to tell you what the fees are too.
Yeah, okay, that's
I
cool.
was like, oh, that must be because of that Biden thing or whatever. Like, it's because I
That's a
noticed it
start.
last few times. Yeah.
Yeah, it
that's
is
a good
annoying.
start.
Like, I'm like, oh, the tickets are $50, and then I click on them, and it's like $300 now,
Well-
and I'm like, oh, never mind. I guess I don't really know the history of Ticketmaster, but from what I understand, a lot of those people in the head, they don't really care about music. They just care about making money. So they're not interested in, they don't care how much the tickets are. They just want to make money and sell whatever's popping.
Right. Well, and the problem now is, as a musician, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
Like, if
exactly.
you want to do a viable tour, you have to play ball with these
Yeah.
people who are, own the venue and own all the ticketing
Yeah.
and frankly crush like any competition that comes into their space.
And that's the problem. Like
what
they
you do in
shouldn't be
business, but-
able. Here's what they should do too: is they shouldn't be able to own all of the venues. Like it should be like, yo, you can own like a certain amount or whatever.
Yeah, there should, but also there should be reasonable caps on those fees. Like those fees get ridiculous. Where it's like, what? There's a venue fee. There's a, like, shouldn't that be covered in the price of the ticket, motherfucker?
Like, especially like you remember the days when you like ordered a ticket online and someone actually put it in an envelope and mailed it to you. Like, then I understand the extra fees. Like someone has to do that. Now it's like it's all electronic on your phone. Like, why these extra fees?
And who judges what the price of the fee is going to be? Like who determines that?
You know
like,
who does? The company
exactly.
that sells it.
$50 for services fee. It's like, what service?
Did you get?
Well, the thing is all these fees were what it would cost to buy a ticket in the past.
Yeah, I mean, well,
and now all that is being bailed out to us.
Well, and the problem Pearl Jam had, their original beef was like, look, we want to set our ticket prices so that they make sense, so they're affordable for our fans, but they cover all our costs and we get a little bit of money out of it. But then we do that and Ticketmaster slaps another $14, $15 worth of fees on it. Back then, now it's even more than that, you know?
Yeah, and if the artist is saying they want their ticket sales a certain way, they should be able to decide. Like, at the end of the day, they're the artist. Like, if friggin' Taylor Swift wants to sell her tickets for $25, she should be able to do that, you know?
Then she should be able to say, I'm setting my price at $20 and your markup is $5. That's it.
Yeah, and then maybe she has to come out of her own pocket and pay whatever. But you know what I mean? Like there should be some sort of like process.
It's built this way for a reason. Because the John Oliver thing goes into it because they created this middle market that's worth a lot of money. It's a whole bubble on the resale market, you know. Anyway, Trump's order further directs federal officials and the FTC to deliver a report in 6 months summarizing actions taken to address the issue of unfair practices in the live concert entertainment industry and recommended additional regulations or legislation needed to protect consumers in the industry. Ticket scalpers use bots and other unfair means to acquire large quantities of face value tickets, then resell them at an enormous markup on the secondary market, price gouging consumers and depriving fans of the opportunity to see their favorite artists without incurring extraordinary expenses, the White House face sheet, I think they meant fact sheet, said. It also noted that higher prices don't mean additional profits for artists, but instead go solely to the scalper and the ticketing agency. Kid Rock agreed that such markups don't benefit artists like himself, then chuckled while offering, I'll be the first one to say, and I know the president doesn't like when I say this, but I'm a little overpaid right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I would rather be, you know, a hero to working class people and have them be able to come attend my shows and give them a fair ticket price, he said. I can't control that right now, so hopefully this is a step to make that happen. So
I admire what he's doing. I just wish he wasn't such a tool.
I wish he wasn't shooting Bud Light cans.
Oh my God.
I mean,
that's the thing. Like, it's hard to take a guy serious when
he's dressed like this.
Yeah, when he's dressed like that, and 80% of what
also
he does is dumb.
Also, remember a couple weeks ago when Zelensky was in the White House and they're like, "Why aren't you wearing a suit, dude?" Like, he had like a turtleneck.
He's like, "I'm gonna wear the
like,
suit." Kid Rock is wearing the
I was like, "It is a suit."
Yes.
I guess it is a suit.
The Daily Show, like, there's this clip from the Daily Show where they literally spend like a minute 30 spitting every joke they could think of about that suit. Like, if Ed Hardy designed the American flag, that's when I can remember. Oh, if Evel Knievel had a meth problem and owed child support. There was like a bunch of, I can't remember all of them, but it's like, wow.
That's great. Even the Fox guy who was like, I've never seen someone who looked like they were about to be shot out of a cannon in the Oval Office. I thought that was good too. So.